everybody. Welcome back to Perfect and Perfect Gardening. Here with Miss Tanya. And y'all, I got some advice that I think I want to give to y'all today. Someone came up to me yesterday and said, if I could give advice to anyone that have not started a garden yet, what advice would that be? And I got 5 things just for you guys. So let's get going with that. Okay guys, the first advice I want to give you that I think everyone should know is know your zone. Know your growing zone, your climate. You have to know that because it's very important. It comes in very important. I'm going to tell you why. Above my head, that right there, that's a mango tree. See how it's flowering and all that? Nice, big and flowering. That's because it can grow inside of my zone. And how you find out your zone is because you can Google it, or you can look up your agricultural zone, which my zone is 10A. It's 10A. One important reason why you have to know your zone, because certain zones have chill hours. And what chill hours is, like a plant like apples and peaches, certain types of that, they have ones like my peach tree right here that was made to grow in my area because it don't need as many chill hours, because I'm in a tropical place. I'm not gonna get chill hours like New York or farther Alaska, nothing like that. So I cannot grow those apple trees in my yard. So I have to find an apple tree that goes to my zone, my chill zone. So that's why you have to know your climate and know your zone. Like this, like my mango tree right here. You're never gonna see no mango tree this big or like this in New York or places like that, because it can't take cold. It's a tropical tree. They have to make special arrangements in order to have a mango tree in New York. They got to have a greenhouse or something like that to maintain it and for it to be healthy. Otherwise, it's not gonna make it. So you're just wasting your money. So it's very important for to know your zones so that you can know what can grow in your yard or your garden and what can't. And it has a lot of other things, like, let's say for instance, you buy a pack of seeds. You could go and check your agricultural zone and see when your frost date starts and when your frost date ends, so you can know if you have enough time to grow these seeds if you put them directly in the ground. So, or do you have to start them in the house for a little while and then bring them out at the first sign of no more frost? So you'll know all that by just knowing your agricultural zone. Second thing, y'all, know y'all exposures. You gotta know if your side of your yard or whatever part of your yard is full shade, partial shade, or full sun. You have to know all that because plants are very sensitive. All plants don't like the same thing, and it's your job to find out where to put those plants. It'll tell you on the plant pretty much if it's full sun, part shade, if it tolerates part shade, part sun, or full shade. But it's up to you to know where to put that plant at in your yard. Don't just go and plop stuff down inside of your yard and you don't know if it's the light exposure. I'm gonna tell you why. But first, let me show you this. This right here is my Camellia japonica plant. This plant right here absolutely hates sun. It's allergic to it. It will absolutely get a sunburn, will absolutely die or crisp up right in front of your eyes, and it's gone. It says no sun, full shade. That's why you have to know these type of things. If I was to put this full shade plant into the full sun or any sun, it's gonna die. Now let's say this mango tree up here. You know, any fruit and tree pretty much love full sun. So if I put this full sun tree right here into the shade, it's not gonna be happy at all. So those are the reasons why you should know your sun exposure around your yard. Let me tell you what happened. I'll tell y'all a quick story about what happened to me. On this side of the yard right here, you see it's shady now. But when I came out here, it was full sun. The plant behind me, this is my star apple tree. I knew that it was full sun when I purchased it. The ticket, the tag, everything say put it in full sun. So I knew that part. My problem was I did not know that this side of my house is partial sun. Because when I came out, it was all bright and everything. I wasn't thinking about, is it bright like this all day? Was it part sunny? Was it full shade? Which I knew it wasn't full shade because it was sunny when I came over. But I didn't know if it was full sun, part shade, or anything. I just popped it down in there because I seen it was sunny at that time. And that was my mistake. Because it turns out it's partly shady over here and partly sunny. Do it still get fruit? Yes. Yes, it does still get fruit. They be sort of camouflaged, but I get a lot of fruit. But that's not my problem. My problem is if I would have had this tree in full sun, would I have got more fruit? And the answer to that, I think, is yes. So make sure you know your yard, your exposure, the sun exposure in your yard. Know it, which way it come out, the sun come out, where it start, where it ends, how long it be on one side and how long it don't, so that way you can know how to plant your plants. The third thing, the first thing is your zone, know your zones. The second thing, know your sun exposure around your yard. The third thing is your water retention. That's dealing with knowing your yard also. Your water retention. You have to make sure that you know if it rains, does it flood? Does it flood in a certain part of your yard? Does you have the hill where the water drain down in your yard? You have to know all that when you get plants, because there's a lot of plants that do not like wet feet. When I say wet feet, they do not like their roots to be sitting in water. So if you have a place in your yard that get flooded or sit in water for a while, you'll know not to put that type of plant there. And there's plants that love to be sitting in water, that can have even ones that can take either or. But you have to make sure you have the right plant for the right place. You must know your soil. A lot of climates have their own particular type of soil. Some soil is clay. You have sandy soil like me. My soil here is sandy, very sandy and acidic. And then you have rocky soil. So it's very important to know your pH balance inside of your soil. Okay, there's all types of plants that like different types of soil. Because when you buy a plant, it doesn't mean that it necessarily comes from your area, but it can be adapted to your area. Let's say blueberries. Blueberries is great for my area because I have acidic sandy soil here where I am. But if you somewhere that have like clay soil, you have to adapt those blueberries to you more than I would. So you would know when you buy those blueberries that you have to amend the soil so that blueberry would be happy. So you'll go, and I'm talking about clay soil right now, just giving an example with the clay soil. So you know you have to add some acidity to that soil, to that clay soil. You know you have to add some sort of cow manure, compost, or worm castings or something to that soil with that blueberry in order for that blueberry to be happy. You know you just cannot put that blueberry down into your soil. Well, pretty much no plant you just put down into your soil unless you treated the area beforehand. But you'll know what to do or what to use when you're doing a certain plant by knowing your soil. Okay, I know I said something already about water retention, but it's also important that you know about watering in its own. You have to know how much water to water a plant. That is very important. We pretty much know about cactuses. You can't water them all the time or water them the same as you water your other plants. This is one of the examples of something that you don't water all the time, especially when they go dormant. Cactuses, which I have right here, y'all. This is my cactus area. And succulents. I need to clean it out super bad. But cactuses, they go dormant too. They go dormant during the winter hours. When you start seeing your days get shorter, that's when your cactuses start to go into dormancy. And at that time, you don't even need to water it. It'll water itself if it's outside. Things like that could be kept in the house because they can live off of low light, less light, and less water. But I have mine outside. And you do have to know how to water cactuses and a lot of other plants. So keep that in mind when you start in your garden, to do research on the plants before you plop them in. Y'all, look at how overgrown this bougainvillea is. We got to get that cut back. Come on inside. Get all this cleaned up. Y'all want to remake over this side right here. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for this week. But let's get started with what I'm finna work on. Got to cut this back. Okay guys, we are pruning this bougainvillea tree right here right now. I just want to give y'all some tips on knowing when it's time to prune your bougainvillea tree. The best time to prune it is just before spring. Spring for zone 10A where I am at is March 21st. March 21st start our spring. So I try to get it pruned before then or by then. But I cannot do it too early, because if you do it too early, your new flowers be set. And also know that your flowers grow on new fresh wood. So you want to make sure that you didn't get no new flowers that you're going to be cutting off. So just cut it up, just prune when you see your days are short and just before spring. Y'all, when I cut my bougainvillea, I don't go too deep. I just prune for a little shape, and to make sure that when I walk by those thorns, these things have big, deep thorns. Let me get one. It's getting darker out. But y'all see them thorns? Look at that. Big, huge thorns on here. And they will get you, so make sure you wear gloves and protective wear gear, because you're going to regret it if you don't. I'm just saying. Okay guys, if you follow that five advice, I think everything else should come to you easily. At least you'll have a cheat sheet, like a seed pack or the container that your plant come in. It'll tell you everything you pretty much need to know if you know where to plant. For Florida, I have to have them in after February, but before April. And then, see, it'll tell you if it needs full sun, partial shade, full shade right here, which these are full sun. So I know to put it in an area that's fully sunny. So you'll have pretty much all the information that you need. You have to know the watering area. This right here, these sunflowers do not like to be sitting in water. It like to be well drained, so you know what part of the yard. A full sunny, well drained area. See, it's just that simple. As long as you take them 5 steps, everything else should come more easier for you. The area we worked on last, we did the pots, the beds, we cleaned all this area up. We installed the plant in the middle right here. I put this up afterwards. I added my butterfly up here. This right here is a plant stand where you hang your flowers on and you stick it into the ground. And I had these that I had bought from Bell's for $20. I put one on each side with a little bird I had bought from Dollar General, yeah. That was from Dollar General too. I think I paid $10 for that. Some years ago, so I can't say they have them now. I got this stuff here from other parts of my yard, and I just put them together. Just wanted to show you guys that. And I also had put seeds inside of my hanging pots, and they coming up too. That was off camera, but these was on camera. I'll show you how to do it on camera. They're growing up. And I also did these pots right here. So we did all this on last video, and I love it. Well, let me show you what we did the video before this one, what we worked on. First of all, we worked on here. Tomatoes, I showed you guys how to do the tomatoes. Look how big they getting already. Only been a few days. And you know I dig them in deep. I buried them in deep so I can get new roots. Look how big they are already. Yep. These right here I put in I put that in to just test this ground because my chickens was right there and I didn't want them to burn my thing, so I did a little tester. What y'all think? How y'all think it turning out so far? We got a ways to go, but we getting there, y'all. Just stick with me, stay, and you'll see it at the end, cause y'all know it only get better. So everything start growing up, it only get better. Well, y'all, I just had him shape it for me a little bit, not really shape it, just the long that was sticking out and I was rubbing up against, I had him, but the ones up top I told him don't touch those because they still blooming, and those are hard yet. They tall, you see, almost up to my top windows. Okay. See, now I have room to get down and walk without running into those thorns. Thank you guys for joining me on episode 7. And for episode 8, I would be redoing this area right here. And I also would be doing a special project over in this area. And these are some of the flowers that I will be putting in a special project. Y'all want to find out what that is? Y'all hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button so you can know when I'm gonna put a video out, which is every Tuesday and Thursday. Y'all look out for that, and I will see you guys then.